Hello everybody, this is meteorologist Andrew Pinero with this next Full Throttle Thursday, and boy, it's been a long time since I filmed anything related to the car and put it on the channel, especially a Full Throttle Thursday. So this is a very nice coming back to Full Throttle Thursday. Now, this video is also a little bit interesting because the reason it's been a while is actually because the car hasn't been doing too well. And we're going to talk about that today. This Full Throttle Thursday is going to be, did I go too far? Now overall, I had a Stage 2 kit from MA Performance, and I'll talk about that and link that in the description about the install for that, which I've had that on the car running perfectly fine for about 2 years now. And no issues whatsoever. However, I still wanted to complete the package, which was an intercooler, and I didn't need something called a charge pipe. The Stage 2 Plus kit that they do is really for that top mount intercooler, which this is a picture of a top mount intercooler. Basically, it's an intercooler mounted on top of the engine. So that is the upgraded piece that's required for that Stage 2 Plus kit to give a tiny bit extra bit of horsepower there. But this I also did a package because there was a deal they gave with the charge pipe. And now that's where some things started to go wrong. And the install, or the removal of the old charge pipe, the stock charge pipe, caused some issues that I didn't even know about until 3 or 4 months later, because I wasn't too familiar with it. So we'll talk at the end, was the upgrade worth it? But for right now, I'm going to show you guys a little install montage. It's just about maybe 4 or 5 minutes long, so for those of you that really like to see these install, I got some nice little music in the montage, so feel free to enjoy it. Otherwise, if you don't want to see the whole montage, you can skip to the time in the description that's going to be after the montage, talking about what happened and the wrap-up. So let's head to the montage. All right, so now if you enjoyed that montage, or if you watched that montage, I hope you enjoyed it because I definitely had some fun editing that and putting it together. But now let's talk a little bit about what happened. So that was back in August of 2020. I believe actually it was the same day we had Tropical Storm Isaias come through. I believe I just started the upgrade on that day. Now I did the upgrade, and it took maybe about 2 days because I was trying to film it and I was trying to learn how to do it in the same time, which you never really want to do. You never want to learn how to do something with a car while you're doing it, which was my number one mistake. And it caused some issues. So I put the parts on, great, buttoned everything up, fine. And then I let it sit to warm up for a little bit. And then all of a sudden, I hear the RPMs start rising higher, like much higher than normal. So a typical idle is maybe 7 or 800 RPM for an engine. This ended up idling very steadily at 2,500 RPM, which may be the RPM of like going down the road normally. So that caused some concern at first, and then I wasn't sure if it was because of the new tune. The car had to kind of get familiar with the new tune, but then it was really just the precursor to what was going on, or really the symptom of what was going on, which was the idle system was confused. And because of that, the idle system is controlled by air. There's no throttle body anymore that has a little screw that you can adjust idle. It's all controlled by airflow. So because the airflow, something was going on with it, it was idling at 2,500 RPM to protect itself. And when I drove it down the road, it was very rough. So when you drive manual and basically you press in the clutch, it disconnects the engine from the transmission. And at that point, it tries to jump back up to 2,500 RPM. And if you're engine braking, so if I'm going down the road very slowly, I'm in first, and I'm kind of just like cruising along at normal speed there, even in first or second, but the engine, in the RPM at driving, maybe 1,500 RPM, the engine wants to rev up to 2,500 RPM. So that was affecting some drivability issues too. And I was getting really worried. So the next thing I thought of is, what did I do? I put everything back the way it was before I did the upgrade, and then it was doing the exact same thing. I was like, oh no, did I break something in that? I didn't know what I could have broken. I've been trying to figure that. It was sitting on jack stands probably about 3 months because of other things too that were getting in the way. But it was sitting on jack stands about 3 months while I was trying to figure out what could be going on. Looked on forums, looked online, asked people, no one knew. So I finally decided, because I had to get the car inspected and I had to renew my registration on the car, I'm just going to bring it to my local shop. And at that point, it stalled. And then I stalled on the side of the highway on the way to the inspection. So then I had it towed to the dealer. And at the dealer, because I know the guys there, so they were able to, I just called them, say, hey, this is what's going on, can you take a look? So I had the car towed to the dealer, they looked at everything, and they realized something. It took them a while, too. Very, very interesting, but vacuum hose lines were installed backwards. So when I first took off the charge pipe, the stock charge pipe, I didn't 100% note, because there's two vacuum lines I had to disconnect to get the pipe out. I didn't 100% note which one went where. So I just plugged them back in where I thought they went. And no, that messed up a lot of things. So because of that one stupid little thing that I just didn't know about, that caused months and months of headaches. And I felt bad because I didn't know if I did something to the car, I mean, broke something. But I didn't. I did something to the car. I mixed up those vacuum lines. So they put the vacuum lines back where they were supposed to be. And then the car felt fine again. It idled normally. The drivability felt so much better. It wasn't trying to like jerk and lurk when you're trying to get off in first. So thankfully, they were able to put that back, and I was able to learn now where those pieces, those vacuum hoses actually go. So there's a little sensor in there that detects the air coming in through the intake system, and that's how the engine determines what to idle at. Because if there's less air coming in, it knows the engine RPM is low. So that's how it can use this air system to detect how fast really the idle has to be set at. And the computer just got confused. So this has really just been a bit of a learning curve with that, just because it's something I've never dealt with before. I never touched anything with that on my Subaru Legacy that I had before the WRX, and my Jeep Cherokee, a 96 Jeep Cherokee, it was all mechanical. The idle had that screw that you adjust, and that was it. So this was definitely a learning bit for me, and now the car has that intercooler on there. It doesn't have the charge pipe at the moment, but it has that intercooler with the Stage 2 Plus kit, and it is definitely feeling good. So stay tuned on the channel for more car videos. I'm going to have some more coming out with these Full Throttle Thursdays and maybe some other types of videos in the meantime as well. So that is it for this first Full Throttle Thursday of 2021 and the first Full Throttle Thursday in about 6 months, which I do apologize for, but I'm going to try and get back on track now with the normal uploads that I've had with the channel before, because things are getting a little bit back more normal with jobs and stuff like that. So I'll have some more, I guess you could say, motivation and not just drained after the job to actually do some YouTube stuff. So stay tuned for that. So again, that wraps up this video. Thank you all for joining. This was another Full Throttle Thursday, and I hope you guys subscribe below and hit the little bell icon to get notified whenever I upload a video like this, or I go live sometimes. So I also do a lot of weather content, some photography content, gaming content. Check that all out. Have a great rest of your day, everybody. This is meteorologist Andrew Pinero. Stay safe out there, wear your mask when out in public, and I'll see you all in that next video.